And we are live. Well, hello everybody. So,
Hello.
uh, we have a guest um, tonight, and she has a brand new channel that she just started 5 days ago, I believe. And we're going to get her some attention, and we're going to bring her channel to light. And I'm going to let you tell us about your channel. Give us the name of your channel and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so my name is Michelle, and I just go by Shell. I just like drop the MI off, so it's just CATLLE. So, and that's the channel name is the Shell Chronicles. And me and a good friend of mine were actually spitfiring one day, and she's like, "When are you gonna start your own channel?" And I'm like, "Oh, I could never." She's like, "You should. You're really good. You should." So we were bouncing ideas about names and stuff off of it, and I was cool about the Shell Chronicles. She's like, "Oh, I love it." So hence it was born. And really, I've been crocheting for like over 23 years now. I'm a baby knitter. Okay, I just learned. Actually, I was teaching myself by watching fiber spiders, and been quilting for a little over a year now. It's just everything. Like I do a bunch of stuff. I don't have a niche because they're kind of all my niches. It depends on how I'm feeling that day, really. But yeah, I feel more comfortable with the people that I've met in this community than anywhere else. And I was like, you know what? I kind of want to get in on that. So I'm
Well,
trying.
there's always room for crafters, and we're welcoming, we're heartwarming, and we'll help wherever we can. I'm glad that you started your channel, and we're going to do what we can to make you feel as welcome as possible. And I'm going to say hello to a few people. Hello, Fluffy Quilting. Hello, Jax. Hello, Jennifer, Lorene, Amelia. Uh, hello from my Creative Corner creation, Candace, Janet, Donna. And how's everyone doing tonight? Hope everyone's doing well. I'm still working on my blanket. And Michelle, what are you working on?
My knockoff.
So,
my poor man's alternative to your beautiful wool blanket.
but we use what we have, and we appreciate what we have. So, and I think your blanket is turning out marvelous.
Well, you
And
should. I'm thanking you.
let's see, Janet, it's kind of late for y'all. Not for me, Janet. Russ is up all night long. Russ is kind of like Russ after dark. I don't sleep. I sleep during the day. And so I believe Michelle is using Red Heart yarn for her rectangle granny blanket. And
Yep.
how many colors are you using?
Oh boy, you want me to count? But
You
oh,
just a guess.
what you doing? Um, Let's see. I had probably about 30 or 40 skeins, each of all different colors, that are making their way in, and I have others that are queued up. So a lot, like a
Oh,
lot.
very, very
Yeah.
nice. So your blanket's going to be very colorful.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I the one thing I didn't have very much of was the variegated. And when I was watching you make yours, and I'm like, I could never make that yarn. It was too cute, but I could never. I'm like, I want to make one. Like I was so inspired. I loved it. I needed one. So I'm like, okay, what can I do? I went through and tried to find all of the variegated I could. I only had like 3 variegated, so they're just kind of sprinkled in, so that way I can make them stretch throughout the rest of the blanket. And but yeah, getting it's like crazy colorful. Wow, ooh,
I think
it's like this is a vintage red heart, like a chartreuse, gorgeous. But, yeah.
okay, hold your blanket up again.
Oh, uno momento. Let me get my okay.
Hi, Adia. So Michelle's showing us her blanket. She's making the granny square rectangle blanket from my channel, and this is her color choice. She's using red heart yarn, and it's just stunningly gorgeous.
Yeah.
That is just awesome.
I even went and used your channel because, like I said earlier, I'm a bit of a creeper. If I find somebody I like to go watch all their channels or their videos at the beginning. I was watching your come learn with me. Is it that learn with me videos? And because on the one you're working on now, when you first started making it, I've been watching the whole thing, and you're like, I'm gonna turn the square into a rectangle. I'm like, oh wow, so you don't look all choppy. And then I seen you do it, and I'm like, hold on. And I found that instructional on your video on your channel, and I was like, I need some of that. So that's what I did. And I tell you what, I was flabbergasted because it's just so seamless. It's absolutely seamless, and it's oh, I love that. I hate seams, so it was just great, just great. Like that's just great. That's all I can keep saying. I love it. It turned out really awesome. I was thinking about actually making this as a gift for somebody, but I want to keep it. I want to keep it. It's so cute.
Keep it.
I'm gonna keep it.
I am going to bring AJ on stage with us.
Oh yeah.
Well, hello, AJ.
Hello.
And how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing okay.
Hi, sweetheart.
Hi, nice to meet you.
You too. What are you up to tonight?
I was just watching a live from earlier, actually, on one of the cases that they're waiting for a verdict to come back on.
Oh.
I didn't expect it to be a 2-hour live. It's like I had so many things I wanted to watch, but
My cat stole my yarn. I was like, look. Sorry.
it's looking like a hungry. So.
Oh, Sharon is with us. She's from Newfoundland, Canada. And Adia loves your blanket, Shell.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know if you guys can see the chat or not, so I'm just kind of like giving you guys some of the highlights.
I'm sure I opened this earlier.
I'll be honest with you. I see a button that says chat. I can barely make out the blurs on my screen of YouTube. I can't.
Okay, so here's the thing with using your phone. If you hit the chat button, you're going to see the chat, but you're not going to be able to see the video.
Yeah, I'm on my laptop, so I can see it.
So you got to. It's for your phone. It's one or the other.
See, I'm not that fancy. I don't have the laptop, so.
You're fine.
You're fine. I'm actually. People tell me that I'm old-fashioned because I use my laptop. So. Either or, whatever. Dime a dozen in there.
So, Ambi Crafts.
Hey, Ambi, welcome in.
She says your blanket is extraordinary beautiful.
Oh, thank you. I'm really just copying Russ, though. Honestly, that's all there is to it. I see his, and like I said, I just had to have it, so just copying him. I do enjoy it, though. Thank you.
It's good to see everybody. Hi, Ambi. Glad you saw my post.
So AJ, you weren't here at the very beginning, which is okay.
Yeah, I was getting a drink, so
No, you're fine. So Shell just started her channel like 5 days ago. It might be six because
awesome.
it might be six now because it's after midnight. So she just started her channel, and I'm trying to get her her name out there. And I wanted you up on panel because I want your name out there as well because you need subscribers.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So this is just my little way of bringing people that hasn't hit their 1,000 people subscribers. I'm trying to get them up here, get their faces out there in front of everybody to get their channel rolling. And that's what this little segment's for. I want you two to get noticed.
It's very.
What was it one said? It's the year of kindness. Isn't that what he said? It's make 2024 the year of kindness or something like that. And I tell you what, AJ, like this man right here, he's the same. He really is.
I've been watching him for a while. We're gonna meet one of these days. We actually live kind of close.
Really? Well, you're lucky.
Unfortunately, I can't drive, so I haven't been able to meet up with him yet. So
the only option I have is to stalk him from the other side of the screen. But that'd be cool. I get to sit back here and look creepy and hope nobody notices. That's about what I got.
Where are you from?
I am actually. I was born in Kansas, and I grew up there till I was about 18. But then I moved to the Sioux Reservation in Montana.
Okay.
So I'm kind of half from Kansas, half from the reservation. I just moved back down here a few years ago. It was a bad idea. It's so hot. It's disgusting. It is so hot. Oh, yeah, it's bad. It's so bad. Like, oh, okay. It's
I
really
live in
bad.
Indiana, so.
Huh?
I live in Indiana.
Indiana.
Yeah,
I've never
so
been there.
it's pretty cold here.
Yeah, AJ's like maybe 40 minutes from me.
Yeah, I'm about 10 minutes from the Michigan border.
Yeah, I was gonna say, weren't you in? I was gonna say Minnesota, but I know Minnesota's not right. It's Michigan.
Michigan.
Yeah.
And I think I'm about 30 minutes from the state line.
And which means you're probably about 15, 20 minutes from my parents' house because they live in Michigan.
Yep. Oh yeah. Lorraine, she is also in Indiana.
I'm in Oklahoma.
Awesome, Lorraine. Where from in Indiana? If I may ask. I know not everybody likes to give their location, which is fine. I'm not a stalker. I can't drive. I can't be a stalker.
We see Shell has a stalker. She just walked. Yeah, she just walked right behind you.
She just walked behind me. She hit me with her tail, walked behind me, and just went boop, dive bombed off the cow. That was Lucy. That was the little mini Tippy.
I'm surprised Clue is not up here with me because she has not left my lap tonight after it stopped raining. She hates rain.
So,
Lorraine is between Cincinnati and Indianapolis.
Okay. I've actually driven to Cincinnati from Indianapolis before, so.
Ambi Crafts is from Georgia. and she says it's hot.
You can keep your heat, Ambi.
We just had heat just like a week or so ago.
Yes.
For
way
we are
too
under. Sorry, go ahead.
I said for way too long. I was happy for the rain to finally come.
We are under a heat advisory, and we have been like the past 5 or 6 days now. It's I get an emergency alert email notification stating that we're under an extreme heat advisory. It was 107.
Somebody else who loves musicals.
What was it? It was 107, and the real feel felt like 115. No.
Yeah, we got what? Our highest day around here. I'm not sure because you do live enough away that your weather is sometimes different, Russ, but I think our highest that we had here was like 95 and it felt like 110 or 115.
Girl, count your blessings, okay? It is ridiculous. Oh my. It might just be me. Because, like, my comfortable climate, 60 degrees, 60, 65 degrees.
My favorite, springtime is my favorite season.
No.
If I could live somewhere that felt like spring to me, 60s, I would be happy.
That's too bright and scary for me. I like the winter.
Sharon, thank you. So,
Thank you very much, Sharon.
AJ and Shell, Sharon just subscribe to each of your channels.
Oh, thank you so much, honey. That's very kind.
And before I forget, Shell, I'm starting up lives on my channel again. I used to do them. Russ actually came on once. It was really fun. I like to have people on and ask about your channel, you know, and stuff. And even though I have a small channel, I like to try and put people out there as well when I can. So if you'd ever like to come on sometime, I'm trying to get my lineup going here. I do a live with a friend once a month, and we've been doing the history of crochet. It's been so much fun. And we've had guest people on. We had Just Vintage Crochet on last.
I was just getting ready to say that I do a lot of vintage projects. I do vintage restoration as well. I went to the thrift store, and there was a king size vintage granny square, like multiple granny squares. And it had so many holes in it where they had what's the word I'm looking for? Did like a flat braid join the squares together, and there's rips and holes. I cut them all out, and I frogged all those squares back down to where they were just those original 5 squares of the variegated yarn and stuff. And I'm redoing them, putting them back together. I've got like a bunch of the vintage. Always lose my hook. The vintage doilies and all that sort of stuff. The quilts that I make. I do the English paper piecing, which is sewing by hand of all that stuff. Oh, I love it. I love the whole vintage thing. I knew there was a channel about vintage stuff, but I could never remember what the name was.
She is awesome. She's going to come on and do a live just on my channel, just as a regular live soon. Her name is Corinna. She is amazing.
Well,
she
I did
is so knowledgeable about her stuff.
I did subscribe to your channel before we came on the live here. So I'll if you're gonna post up a notification before that live happens, or I'll try to catch that live, I guess.
Well, the very last live that'll show on mine, because when she came on, it was on my channel. Because my friend and I, we hop back and forth between channels for our live that we do every month. So that one was on my channel. So the one where she was on talking about crochet terms. Because we're doing the history of crochet. We started with the basic history of crochet. Then we went to crochet hooks. Then we went to terms. I think the next one's going to be yarn.
Okay.
It's been fun. We've been having a blast just researching stuff and finding what the history is.
If you guys are going to do a video on vintage yarn, you should do it on one of the yarns should be wind tuck.
I have some.
I do too.
I have a whole bag of vintage yarn, but the sad thing is the person who sent it to me, I don't know where they stored it, but it's crunchy.
Ooh, it's probably,
And I'm not sure.
if the yarn is crunchy, it's gone bad.
Yeah, I was thinking of maybe giving it to a nursing home or something for craft, small type of crafts, because I didn't think there was any way I'd be able to use it for an actual project.
No, not if it's crunchy. What was you going to say, Shell?
Oh, I was gonna say I have I don't know where it came from. It the Karen, the 1 pound. Yeah. The 1 pound. That's what it is. It's a 1 pound, and there's no brand, there's no label on it, nothing. It just says like 1 pound acrylic on it. It's in the other room. I can go get it and show you really quick. But I got 4 of them. There goes my book. I've got 4 of them. I'll go get it. They're vintage, and I got them up at the thrift store. But I have no clue, and I've tried searching them too. No clue what they are, or how to look them up, or anything else for that effect.
Windtuck, I used to buy at Kmart.
Yep.
Back when I was like 15 years old.
Uh-huh. I've got Red Heart. Actually, I have a quote vintage blanket that took me 20 years to make because I started it in 4-H. I actually got it to lapgan size. And it's a oh, come on, brain. The ones that go up and down. I can't think of the design. It goes up and down. I should know it. Chevron.
Okay.
Chevron style. And when I asked her, because I knew I did not want to do single crochets, that I would never get it done, I said, can I do this in doubles? She's like, I've never heard of that before, the instructor. And she sat down and figured it out. And so I did it in double crochet. And I still only got it to lapgan size. I got it finished right before my husband and I got married. So it was his engagement gift for me. Thank you, Laura. Thank you. Yeah, not Ripple. Ripple's actually new. Chevron is the name that's been used forever. So, and people say that Ripples are actually different than Chevron, but I don't know because I haven't done a quote Ripple blanket.
Okay. We have. There you go. You're on the spotlight.
Okay, so first of all, here's this. There's 4 of them. It came in the package. This package has seen better days.
Oh.
But
it's when they bagged them and they didn't really put just the label, right?
Yes, that is old.
The labels on the bag.
Yes, that is old.
No, they just slid it inside of the bag.
Yeah, I meant they didn't put the label all the way around it.
Yeah, they just slid it in.
Just bag them and put the label inside. So that's how another one that you do.
If you can see that, or if there's a glare, there you go. That might be better. But that's all it says is just the 1 pound on it, and there is something called a pattern, or National Yarn Crafts is what it says. It's a geometric Afghan pattern on the back of the label on it. And I was just super excited when I found this. I paid $2. Sorry?
I said I'm excited for you.
I know. I love vintage stuff. I've got I have 2 of the 50s model vintage Singer sewing machines, like when they first started coming out, the electric ones. Mm-hmm. The original little small foley table that goes with it.
Yep. We just got rid of an antique table like that, the vintage.
Yeah, well, the one I'm actually using with my machine right now is the model from the 70s. which to me, 70s isn't really considered vintage because I was born in the
But it
80s. So
is.
yeah,
I said the same thing to Corinna the other day. I'm like, okay, I don't feel vintage. And 90s and 80s is considered vintage when you look up the definition of vintage.
that's my era. Like I lived through those eras. So the way I see it is, as long as I'm still alive, the eras I've lived through are not vintage.
Well, that's how I feel about it too. But if you go by the true definition, it is, unfortunately.
It's like, how is my childhood vintage when I'm still alive? You know,
I was born in '69, so
I was born in the 80s, late 80s. Excuse me. But yeah, I've seen that, and I got 4 of them for $2.
but you know that you grew up when it's vintage when all your songs come on the oldies channel.
So you got 4 of those big skeins for $2.
Yes, I got 4 of these 1 pound. I don't know if you see it or not.
Oh, hold on just a second.
Get $1.99. They were all together in a big like clear plastic bag, like a small bin bag, I guess you could say. They were all in there, $1.99 for all of them. I was like, yeah, I need them.
Most people for vintage yarn, they try to way upcharge in all the places I've looked at.
Joan, I have my great grandmother's treadle sewing machine as well, and it still works.
Sorry, I'm trying to see the chat. I look really creepy.
My mom used to have one like that. The treadle one is the one that you use your foot to move it back and forth, right?
Yep. There's no electricity. You just move.
My mom had the one from our family, but I think she sold it a long time ago, which makes me sad because I would have loved to have had it.
The ones that I have were when they first started using electricity. So it still has that giant wheel looking aspect with it and what looks like a fan belt, or it's got a belt around it, you know?
Yep.
It still looks like that, but it's electric and it has this little light bulb stuck on the top of it. I don't know why I'm going like this to show you. It's stuck on the top. But there's a little light bulb.
That sounds like my mom's old singer.
Oh boy, you gotta be careful. That thing heats it. I
used to burn my hand on it all the time in 4-H.
Yeah, you look at it wrong and you get a sunburn. That's terrible.
Well, mine don't have the light.
I actually had to start keeping that burn gel or whatever. I have a safety little, what do you call those? The little first aid kits. I have a little first aid kit that I keep in my sewing drawer because I am always burning myself on my irons or nicking my fingers. So I have the first aid kit that I keep in my sewing desk just because I'm me. So.
Well, when we're done with the live, I'll have to save your channel because all Russ told me is that somebody who has a brand new channel was coming on. He didn't tell me your name. So I'll save it afterwards. But I think I may have seen a post. Did you just do one on different yarn types? If not, it may have been somebody who looks kind of like you. So, because I was like, wow.
Her last video was when she was talking about her blanket and my channel, I believe. Correct, Shell?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. Well, I don't know if it would have been the last one, because they show you stuff in your feeds from, days, whatever ago. So, but the person looks kind of like you, but, I had remembered seeing, I wonder if that might be her because that looks like a new channel.
The only video that I've posted so far that's crochet related, I have some sewing and some thrifting. The only crochet related one that I've posted so far is, I keep calling it my knockoff, which is the more alternative and affordable way to create Russ's gorgeous monstrosity that's going on. But the po' boy.
What types of yarns are you using?
It's acrylic. The blanket I'm making right now that mimics Russ's is Red Heart, just 4-way acrylic. I think there's a few skeins of the Walmart, the Mainstays brand mixed in there with it too. But I also have, sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I also have, and they're right here, so I don't have to go too far. Let me show you what else I picked up from the thrift store for $4 for all of them. These little babies right here.
Ooh.
These are vintage, vintage hanks of wool, and they've got these little. That's the only characterization they have on them. And I have got this whole container. There's a green, a mustard, red, brown, black. I got all of them. They all have these little taggy things. 835, 726. Yeah. And they are thin. I mean, like
probably finger away. Super wash, probably.
Yes, and they are.
Died.
They're gorgeous. They're gorgeous. Oh, I forgot. I've got a little tan in there too. Well, I had to recently put them in a container with a lid that locks because I have 5 little girls that decided they were going to get their claws into it because it's wool.
Yes. They love the smell of it. I had a cat that anytime I used to get Nick Crate, and every time it came, he was like on top of the box waiting for me to open it because he just loves the smell of wool. I should say love because he's no longer with us.
Michelle, can you show that label of the vintage yarn from Karen again, please?
Yeah. I don't know if it's Heron. What it says is right down here. It says, can you see it?
Looks like
National Yarn Craft. I'm trying to get this glare. This is so awkward going in my
Millens.
Huh?
I wonder if they were Millens. Because Millens are put in a bag like that and it'll just say 1 pound.
That's a possibility. And I haven't been able to find a what do you call it? A date on it, like a patent or anything like that. You know what I mean, or the
lot number or anything.
There's a dye lot number on it. It says baby yellow number 5, and then a dye lot number. It says made in the U.S.A. Craft Yarn Council of, boy, did you hear the hit come out? Craft Yarn Council of America. Article number.
Yeah, they haven't made a label like that in eons. Because they used to put the Yarn Craft Association on there, and that was to let people know that that yarn is approved by the Yarn Council.
Yeah.
The National Yarn Council.
Yep, and now they don't do that.
And then Craft Yarn Council of America. Well, it says National Yarn Craft, 183 Madison Avenue, New York, and then Compton, California. But yeah. Label lady.
Is that that yarn, that vintage yarn, Michelle? Is that a 3 or a 4-way? It looked like a 4, but it could be a 3.
It's a 4.
Okay.
It does not say that on the yeah, 4-ply worsted weight. So it's worsted. So yeah, it's a 4-way. And I've been saving it because I want to make something really, really awesome with it. I have a few things. So one thing that First of all, if I can find my sheets, it's gone. Okay, guys. One thing I really want to do is I really want to make a wool blanket. I want a wool blanket, not like the lion. Huh?
I wished I would have known that. You wanted to make a wool blanket.
Oh, it's okay. But not like the Lion brand where it's like 10% wool mix. I mean like wool, But I want to do it. I've been seeing the knitted mitered squares. The like scrappy looking knitted mitered squares wool blankets. I need one. Okay. But also, huh?
Sorry. When you're saying you want to do wool, I got a huge find right after Christmas time. Our Myers store, I don't know if you have a Myers.
I got
store.
Walmart and
Walmart. They had on clearance their Touch of Alpaca yarn that I got for $2 a piece.
That's good.
And when my husband had found it, they had like 20 skeins on the end cap. I happened to be sick at the time, so I had to wait like 2 weeks. But I have
they had like one.
And it's all different colors and not particularly on my colors, but I want to make a blanket out of it. And I think I might make it and give it to him for when he has to travel with me for doctor's appointments. And he sits in the cold, cold waiting rooms, and at least make him a nice sized napkin out of it.
The other thing I've got, my hair is so long, I get loose hair that just falls all over the place. Anyways, the other thing is that I was watching Russ and he was knitting. One was Fiber Spider's fan lace, or what's that stitch called? It's like fans and something or other.
Oh, feather and fan.
Feather and fan.
Gorgeous. And then I was watching Russ, and he was knitting a blanket. Maybe it wasn't a blanket. Yeah, it was something. He was knitting something, and it was like going to be just something you could put on your shoulders or over your lap, I remember him saying. And I'm just like, I want to knit a frigid blanket, okay? And so I was thinking about it because I really, I've been saving this vintage yarn for like something. I wasn't really quite sure what, and it definitely wouldn't be right now because I'm not as masterful as these gentlemen are in knitting yet. But I really,
I get you. I just started learning. And thanks to us, I know how to do what I'm doing by watching him.
Like, I love them so much, but sometimes they get on their channel and they're like, whoop, 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 look what I can do. And I'm like, yeah, I get so envious. It's not even funny.
My second one.
Is it just garter stitch?
You're getting better.
Well, this was my to learn to purl stitch, but I decided to start doing everything on it. So yeah, I've got garter stitch on here and started out with just purls at the bottom.
Yeah, your tension looks really good.
Yeah, you're getting better.
Yeah, your tension looks really good, and it looks like you're keeping your stitch count so it's not going.
Yeah, I'm trying to. On my first one, I lost it, and then I had to try and reel it back in, and I don't know how I did that. But on this one, I was getting tired of it looking like the other one, just doing the purl stitch. And, I forgot how to do the knit stitch, and I had to go back and watch you again. And I'm like, okay, I got it now. I got it down.
Fluffy, she went to my channel to learn.
Yes. I actually started with Marley Bird, and I ended up going to Russ's channel because I don't know.
That's who I was going to follow the my first knit sock pattern from, with the worsted weight. So my friend Rebecca, she's on her channel's Dances with Pit Bulls. She has crazy quilts. Amazing woman. love her so much. She said, Michelle, honey, if you're going to do socks, start with worsted weight instead of the tiny stuff. It's a lot easier to feel better. And I was going through it, and I was like, yeah, I want some nice chunky wool like boot socks, you know. So I found that Marley Bird one for my first knitted sock. I started watching it. I could not understand a word that was coming out of her mouth. There was no language barrier. I was just dumbfounded. I'm like, what?
My issue that I love Marley Bird, and I don't want anybody to take this wrong because I love Marley Bird and I love her patterns. But when I try to take a class from her, she teaches like she's talking to kindergartners. And for me, that goes, and I can't listen to it. I try to watch and listen really, really hard. But watching Russ, he just tells you what he's doing, and it's just easier to figure out.
And see, that kind of goes hand in hand with what Russ was saying before. Some channels, and there's nothing wrong with any of them, I can go and watch Marley Bird, but it's just the way she instructs and the way her mind works that is not really compatible with me and my way of learning. So I jump over to somebody's channel like Fibers or Russ's, and I'm like, okay, that's where I was going.
You just got to find the person that you connect with.
Exactly.
I have made, and I love Marley Bird's patterns, and I love her to pieces. You know,
she's adorable, absolutely amazing. But I'm just not. I don't learn like that. I'm not a sit there and you know step by step processor. I just need like give me like one row of instructions and then let me go. You know.
See, and I'm a person, I learn more off of the printed pattern normally.
Ooh, like for knitting?
Should be fun when I start looking at my first knitted pattern, except for I do amigurumi. And I think that's going to help me so much because amigurumi patterns are almost identical to some of the knitted patterns I've looked at. And I just found out I was in Chicago in a study that I'm in, and the nurse who's in charge of it, she knits. She actually does both. She prefers to knit. And so I told her the reason I wanted to learn to knit is to make socks. My absolute number one reason. Because I need cotton socks for my feet because all other socks hurt my feet. So I want to be able to make my own. So, and I'm sure I can use superwash merino and stuff. But everybody always buys me acrylic, and those just really hurt my feet. I've got neuropathy, and it's just not a good combination. So she's like, I'll teach you. And I'm like, cool. She's like, it's easy. So then I started telling her about, you know, patterns, because I'm actually a tech editor. So I edit crochet patterns. So I'm like, once I learn how to read all the knit patterns, I should be able to start doing those as well. But I told her how the amigurumi patterns are written, and she said, yep, sounds just like knitting. And I was like, cool.
I guess. Okay, because first of all, when it comes to knitting, I was reading at a college level when I was in elementary school, okay? But when it comes to the knitting pattern, I'm so illiterate, it's not even funny. Okay, I don't have a clue what is going on there. I can't tell if it's Japanese or English. I don't know. But I don't know if this qualifies as amigurumi. I've been working on this as a kid. This is the first thing I've actually, well, I take that back. I needed a washcloth. So this is technically the second thing I've actually, but this, I don't know if they're considered amigurumis or not, but it's the emotional support chickens.
Yeah, they are.
Yep, that's amigurumi.
Yeah, this is the first besides
anything that's considered a quote stuffy is an amigurumi. But when I look at them, I think a true amigurumi are the ones that are made in that style, but not where people like piece different squares and things together. Although it's a stuffy, so it fits. but with regular amigurumi, you've got to mold it and shape it, which is what you're doing there.
Yeah, this is all knit in one. I'll show you. It's all one. That felt so weird. That felt like so weird. It's like, anyways, it's all one piece, and then you just kind of jam it up in there and just stuff its little bottom. But
You know more about knitting than I do, that's for sure, because that's just my second class.
I don't though. That's the thing. Is like I really, really don't. This is all just garter stitch. It's all garter stitch. All you have to do is do the knit stitch. That's all you gotta do. And then you'll knit so many in, slip one over, turn it around, and go back. And that's all. What are those called again, Russ?
I don't know how to increase and decrease yet.
There isn't one.
She's doing short rows.
Short rows, yeah, with the wrap and turn.
Yeah, that's.
I don't even know what a wrap and turn is. Sorry.
Okay, so it's a German wrap and turn. So you wrap it and then you turn your work, and it creates so you don't have a hole at the end of your at the end or at the beginning of your knitting.
Okay. Well, I have a feeling that's something I'm going to have to learn soon. So.
But
basically, you have let's say you have 45 stitches on your needle, okay? And it says you're going to knit 17. So you're going to knit up to your 17. And then you're going to wrap. And then you're going to flip it around and just knit back. So you only knit partially into the row. You're not knitting the entirety of the row, just part of it.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I should be a knitting teacher.
If anybody knows of a good crochet pattern for the emotional chicken, I'm looking for a good one. I haven't found one yet.
I have one. The where I bought. Oh, let me try to remember what it's called. Where I purchased the knitted one, they also have. It's the exact same one. It's the crochet one. Is it the knitting fairy? Maybe. Yeah. Okay, so I'm so sorry. I get overexcited or amped up, and then I just feel like an old car just stuttering to start. The website that has the patterns on it, there is also a coordinating video for the knitted chicken, and they are now posting up the coordinated video for the crocheted version as well.
Okay.
So
we'll have to go
they have, the downloadable, and then they also have a video. It's not a tutorial, but more like a visual assistant for the pattern. And you'll know her when you see her because she's got blue hair and glasses, and that's the lady that's doing the ones for this. I want to say it's called the Knitting Fairy. I'm not 100%.
Okay, I'll have to go I just got a bunch of amigurumi patterns off of Etsy because somebody was having some hardship, so she put her patterns for sale. So I bought quite a few of them because they're ones I wanted to make anyway. So I was looking that day and I found somebody else who had a knitted one and a crochet one, but it didn't look quite like that one. It looked different, and I was like, no, that's not what I want. I don't want it. Somebody might commission me to make it. That's why I'm looking for it.
Well, my husband is absolutely obsessed with chickens. I have made him so many chicken things. And I've seen these online. I was like, hey, babe, look at this. Actually, no. I've seen it on Fiber Spider. Oh, my goodness. Fiber Spider's channel where he had received one as Happy Meal from somebody. And because when you walk into my house at any given time, you are going to see either Russ on random mix play for 8 hours, 10 weeks, whatever straight, or you're going to see Fiber Spider, or you're going to see, my girl Rebecca. It don't matter. He came in, he's like, I want that chicken. What are you talking about? Like, you see that chicken?
I just found one. Where did I find it? It's not the one. Where did I find it? I'll have to look. I sent the picture to the lady who wants the emotional one, but it's called a chicken pierogi. And it's not stuffed. It's just, you can use it as an applique She made it as an ornament last year because somebody was doing a chicken tree or something, a friend of hers. So she made it to put on her friend's Christmas tree, her chicken tree. I got it in an email, so it's somebody that I follow. But I saw that and I thought it was so cute, so I sent it to my friend, and I think I'm gonna have to make one of those for her now.
Can I interrupt just for a second? I just have a quick question. Rose, when did you send it? Because I have not got nothing. So she's asking me if I received a PayPal email, and I haven't.
For one of your boxes?
I don't know what she sent it for. That's why I had to interrupt you guys just for a brief. I got to find out what's going on. I do apologize.
Shell Just Fluffy says, thank you for that, Shell. I just tried short rows and crochet a few months ago. Now your little description actually made sense to me.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Like I said, I
can do crochet. I've just...
Yeah. I found it. It is called the Knitting Tree LA. The Knitting Tree LA. That's where you go and you get your... If that's the original emotional support chicken pattern, you can do crochet or knit it on it. And I believe it's like $6 or something like that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Oh, that reminds me, I forgot to get that pattern. My husband's aunt that he grew up with is in a rehab facility, and they were talking about their grandma used to make the old Pepsi can hats or Budweiser hats, but the ones where you cut the cans in half, and then they poke holes around the cans, and then they crochet them together. And she wants to make them, so I found a pattern, and I need to remember to go and buy it from her. I found it on Etsy. It's a vintage.
That just sounds like
than just the hat. It's got like 3 different hats. It has an apron, and it has a bunch of stuff that you can make with cutting the cans in half.
That sounds like a craft or a project that I would end up injuring myself with.
That's what I thought when she said she wanted to make it. Just Fluffy says, what do you stuff the chicken with? What do you use, polyfill, or I use a combination of stuff.
Honestly, it didn't register to me that she was talking about the knitted chicken. I thought she meant like a real chicken. I'm like, well, stuffing? Like, I don't know. It's usually do turkey, but no. I'm so sorry. I like seriously thought she was talking about like the food for a second. So what they have you do is you get your pieces together, you get your safety eyes on, and then you have like this diamond shaped under panel, and they have you like sew it partially down, and then you'll put some stuffing up in the head. I think it was polyfill. I think it's polyfill, but you can use some, like I've got yarn scraps because I started saving them. I've got yarn scraps. I have scraps of batting left because I quilt as well. So I've got scraps of batting left. You can use
socks. If you have holy socks, hold on to them. I have a bag of socks. Holy socks. When your socks get holes in them.
Yeah,
with socks too.
Yeah, I'm biking. I kind of go barefoot 90% of the time. I don't wear socks.
Old nylons that I would never wear anymore, and you can put the stuffing in there when you want to put them in something that you don't want it seen as well.
Well, these are knitted, like
use but you can still pull knitting, so you can still see the stuffing a little bit, but not as much as in crochet.
The polyfill, the batting shredded up, wool, yarn, basically whatever you want. The lady that was making them on the tutorial, she says she even takes bean bags and stuffs them in there so that way they kind of weight the chicken down to the bottom.
I have I make cat toys, so I keep the crinkly type material, and I shove that inside when I'm stuffing them.
Rose, what email or what PayPal did you send that to?
She
Because
said sent the 25th of June. I don't know if you see that.
yeah, I saw that, but I don't know what. I have two PayPals. I got one for the channel, then I have a personal.
Oh, Serena's
one.
telling jokes again. What
Yeah.
does a aardvark like on its pizza? Anchovies or anchovies.
Because the last payment I received in my channel PayPal was on June 24th. I didn't get a payment or anything on June 25th.
She might want to check the address that she sent it to, or make sure that it actually processed, because there's a possibility that maybe it didn't process completely, or maybe the address on it was incorrect or off by like a letter or something.
I save all of my yarn scraps when I cut them, and I use my yarn scraps that I cut for all the stuff I give to babies, because I'm like, I don't know what's in the polyfill. I feel better about what's in the yarn, especially if it, I try to use the OKO-Tech certified, and stuff like that. But I feel if I'm stuffing it full of other yarn, I don't feel as bad if they're going to shove it in their mouth as if it was full of polyfill. That's my own personal.
Are you getting it figured out, Russ?
I don't. Yeah, I don't have anything.
Well, on PayPal, for instance, she says that she sent it to you, but you haven't received it. Does she have an option on there to like cancel that payment if it hasn't been collected?
Yeah, if the person that you sent it to didn't collect it, you should still be able to get a refund.
Yeah, and maybe try
that before when I put the address in different.
Oh, and you can do an invoice if she's needing something. If she gets that back, couldn't you just PayPal her an invoice so that way she can send it to the correct link? Maybe.
Yeah, I can send invoices.
Yeah, that might work better.
So my PayPal for the channel, you have to have Yesitsrainingyarn at gmail.com, just not it's raining. So there's a yes at the very beginning.
I noticed that.
If you don't have that yes in there, it's not coming to me, because there's another. The reason why I had to put the yes in there is because someone else had It's Raining Yarn.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've actually seen that name on
email. I've emailed and you're like,
maybe it was Instagram. I know I saw it and I'm like, that's not Russ.
No, because
I like, hi Russ, I love you so much. They're like, who in the bleep is this? I was like, my bad. But yeah. Oh, is that Junior?
This is
right?
Rudy. This
Hi,
is Rudy.
Hi, baby. Rudy. I love orange cats. They're so spicy.
Say hi to everybody, baby boy. Say hi.
Hi, pretty baby. Oh, mine's about to start going off. They're popping fireworks. Here. Okay.
He's like, Dad, I don't like. Dad, I don't like.
Come here. Come here. Come on. Come here. Come here. Come here.
Oh.
So the one you sent to her, she has to look at the invoice.
Oh no, hold on. Okay. Catherine.
Come on. Come here, baby.
Okay, Catherine. You should have got my email. I emailed you a copy. Yes, I received your money. I received it on the 24th of June for the full amount. And I sent you an email with a picture of the tracking number to the box. And I can tell you, because I ship myself, and It's telling me right now your box is sitting in Chicago International Distribution Center, and that worries me because when something goes to Chicago,
It can
it
sit
sits
there.
there for 2 weeks before it moves.
I had something come from Minnesota. It went to Chicago, went to Indianapolis, and then it went all the way down to Texas. I got it like 2 days late, and the box was so beat up.
I've had I had things go to Chicago, come back to Grand Rapids, just to go back to Chicago, and it sat there for 3 weeks.
Yep,
I
I've had that happen too.
I actually had to call USPS and say, what's going on?
I did that on one, and they said, well, we don't even think it's sitting in Chicago because it will tell you that it goes there, but it may not actually go there. And I was like, okay. When they're on their way to a main hub, they may not actually make it there. They just tell you it's going there. I was like, so then what's tracking worth?
Exactly.
Because I had another thing that Chewy, there's a Chewy, somewhere down in southern Indiana, there's a Chewy warehouse. And normally if a Chewy order gets sent to me from there, I get it the next day. And I had one, it bounced from there to Chicago, back to Indy, back to there, back to Indy, back to Chicago, and it kept going back and forth. And it took me like 2 weeks before it finally stopped bouncing and got put on a truck to come to me.
Yeah.
And they said sometimes if the trucks or whatever are full, they just send them on to the next place and then they have to come back.
I have better luck with it going to New York to the distribution center or California distribution center because it's only there for a day or two. Then it's on a plane going to the country. But if it goes to Chicago,
theirs in some lost storeroom somewhere.
If it goes to Chicago, it will sit there for weeks.
So I have a question.
Just Fluffy wants to know, is that a chocolate doggy? But I'm not sure who she's talking to.
No, his name is Tyr, Tyr, after the Norse god of war. He is half German Shepherd, half Rottweiler. He is 6 months old and already weighs almost 70 pounds and is just as big as my 110-pound pit bull. So he's a big boy. And they're popping off fireworks. So he's like a natural, he's just such a good guard dog. My pit bull, bruh, he's a marshmallow. Okay. Someone could be breaking into my apartment and he will go open the door for them. But so we got here, and like if the wind blows a blade of grass in the wrong direction, he's going off. He's just going off. So he's hearing this fireworks stuff popping outside. And he's getting a little scared and barking and running up here. Yeah, and not only that, but he's hearing the voices from the phone. So he's thinking there's people outside the door. And he's got a little anxiety. He's a little,
we have 2 cats in the house, and then we've got 3 in our community that are outside regularly on our porch because we take care of a feral community of cats right around here. And the one is our guard cat. So I have a sign that says, don't worry about the dog, beware the cat.
Yeah.
They're scared to death today because we have a neighbor who lives 2 doors down. He, besides just fireworks, he gets quarter sticks of dynamite and sets them off. Our house shakes when he does this. And today, as soon as it stopped raining, he shot one off and the cats just zoom like that. And they found a place to stay and they didn't come out for hours.
Some people's kids these days, man.
His kids were up on my porch today trying to mess with the cats. And we have a ring doorbell, and I said through the ring, I'm like, may I help you? Do you need any help with something? And the one girl's trying to pick up the houses that we have out there for them. I'm like, you need to leave the cats alone, please. Please step back. So I figured they'd complained, and that's why he set the dynamite up today.
AJ, you have a question.
Please explain feral community. How many are in the group approximately? We have had a total of 6 cats outside at one point in time. We work with a mission. It's called Meow Mission. And if you guys ever listen to me, I talk about the cat toys that I make the toys and I donate them to Meow Mission, and then they sell them to make money. And what they do is it's a catch and release program for feral cats. So if you find a feral cat and if you want to help them with the community, you catch the cat, they take it in, they get them spayed, they get them, well, spayed or neutered, all their shots, flea treated. And then anytime they have that cat listed under your name, if that cat gets sick or something and you call them and say, something happened to its eye or this or that, they will get that cat into the vet to be looked at. So they tag the ears so you can tell that they're feral. Now we do have one of them that was outside. She lives in the house inside permanently. She actually had babies, not last year, but the year before. And she hid them before we could get them in the house. We were setting up and getting everything ready. And somebody in the neighborhood drowned them.
Did what?
They drowned the kitties. It was a very hot day, and she actually tried to save one, and my husband had found it, and it was just sopping wet. But
okay, hold on. The person did this to these animals?
Yes. Because the person has actually bragged to other people.
Because I would not have had it. That's all I'm going to say.
We can't prove it, or we would have done something about it. He actually came to my porch that day to tell me it wasn't him, and she was right next to me, and she was trying to launch off at him. I'm like, this cat would not be so mad at you if something didn't happen.
See, they wouldn't need to have an admission of innocence if they weren't feeling guilty.
He was like, well, he said he looked for the cats, and he only found one, and there were 6 of them. So, yeah. Anyway, we can't prove it, so we can't do anything. We've already talked to people, and there's no way for us to actually prove who did it, so we can't do anything about it.
I agree with Shell. If he didn't do it, he knows who did, and he's feeling guilty.
Yeah, well, like I said, they've told people in the neighborhood that have come back to us and told us that it has been admitted, but still nobody will come out and tell a person that they need to tell. So anyway, she got fixed a little bit after that, and she ended up getting sick after she was fixed. So she came in the house, and she's still in the house with us. And she doesn't want that. She don't want it. Her brother, we can't keep in the house. We always said that we would never let a cat out, but we can't keep him in.
See, I come from a very rough life, I guess you could say. And one of the things you learn is believe none of what you hear and half of what you see.
Well, and we found out later.
Yeah, and also
his son, so we don't know if it was him or the son.
Nobody will help you look for something quicker and harder than the thief that stole it from you. Mm-hmm. It's I don't know how to explain it or if I'm saying it right. you know, but like no one's gonna get in there and, oh, you lost it, let me help you find it, more than that person that just
people who murder people who are the first ones there to try and help. You know, that's like people who take kids and do things to kids, and they're the first ones who are there to try and help find them.
I can't even.
Yeah, but no. Anyway, I didn't mean to even go into all of that, but right now we have 4 that come and feed with us regularly outside, and then we have the 2 that are 2 in the house. And a couple of them have come from the person down the street who does the fireworks, because he takes them in, wants them to mouse, and as soon as they don't do what he wants, he kicks them out of the house. And then his kids get mad at us because we have their cat, because we're taking care of it.
Well, at least the kitty's being taken care of.
Exactly.
Russ, you doing okay up there, buddy?
Am I what?
You doing okay up there?
Oh,
You haven't really... Okay. I was gonna say, please jump in. We're not trying to take over your life or nothing.
The Meow Mission will also, if you need it, they will give you food and stuff to help feed the cats, but we do that ourselves.
Lorene, you might have to call Hirschner's, darling, and make sure you're still on their mailing list, because sometimes their mailing list loses people, so they have to put you back on it. So if you don't get it, call them.
Yeah, call them, and if it's not that, then it's just that it probably got lost when the mailman had it in their bag. I've had that happen too. I have some catalogs that can send you mine.
So like I mentioned, I'm not well off, okay, and I don't really get to do those fancy yarns, you know. But I did actually I did put an order in from Hirschner's, and you, sir, you're the reason why. You're a little enabler, okay? You have all these pretty, fancy, flashy things, and you're like, look what I got. It is so soft. It's so pretty. And for that value, of course. So I ordered the worsted 8 gradient pack, and I ordered it in the coral.
Is that what you showed the other day?
So pretty.
Did you show the coral pack the other day, or one that had coral in it?
Oh, this was a little bit ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I know I didn't get to see the video the other day, but I saw the icon, and I'm like, oh no, he did Hirschner's again. I've bought from Hirschner's since I've bought from Hirschner's.
Oh, why do you get all the good stuff?
So Hirschner's is my company too. That's one thing that Russ and I talk about, because I've been buying from them since I was like 18 years old. I love Hirschner's.
That's cool. I actually made my first Hirschner's purchase. This is my first purchase from somewhere other than Walmart. And I got it in. When I made the purchase, I got these little insert flyer things. Like these little, it's so crazy because my cat had it. But it's like one of these little things, right? But you were talking about a mailing list, and I know that you had also previously talked about the yearly membership. Do you have to be on that membership thing to get the mailing list?
No,
I'm not on it. I get my catalogs. If you go onto the site, somewhere at the top, I think it says, would you like a catalog? And you just fill that in.
Really? I didn't hear that.
At least that's how it used to be.
Mary,
and it's a little bit harder to find their membership, but I think you can always find that on the inside of the catalog around the order place.
Okay. I knew I was leading in like that, but yeah, I've seen her arrest Mary. Honey, let me tell you something. You go to my YouTube. Well, not my channel, but my personal YouTube. I have playlist, okay? And my playlist is his yarn tote, or whatever his name of that is. All like 96 of them. Every day I go through. I watch all those. The roving, the
Have a
pencil
good
roll,
evening, Catherine.
girl, all of it. And let me tell you what, that man right there is the whole reason that I'm like, I need to get organza bags from my yarn. Ooh, honey, I need to get some cedar chips. Let me get these. I'm telling you, everything he flashes in front of me, I already have projects picked out of what I want to make with it. So much to the point that I was drooling over his channel when he came out with the Aberdeen wool pickle jar minis. So much that I'm like, you know what?
I want those so bad. I've had them on my want list for so long.
I could just, when he was sitting here talking, I was like, I could just feel it. You know what I mean?
See, I'm a lot like you. I have to look at thrift stores. I have to look at sales. I have to, I mean, like I'm working from my stash because my husband's like, you need to work from your stash. I go to Ollie's. I just got some yarn from Ollie's. Ollie's, oh, if anybody wants, I just went there today. I got to do my video tomorrow. The little Sesame Street character, you know, the hats, and I'm going to do the blanket. I'm already doing the blanket that Bag a Day did with them, but I'm using regular yarn to do it. Now I'm going to make one with all the characters. They had all of them but 2. But I have to put an order in, and I feel like a trader at Mary Maxim because I need a yarn to finish a shawl that I'm making that's a vintage style shawl, and I'm short 2 skeins of yarn, and it's Mary Maxim yarn. So I have to go there for that. And they happen to have the characters, so I can get the 2 that I don't have. But I was blown away that they had them. It's like $2.99 for those, and they're normally like $4.99 to $6.99, depending on where else you find them at.
I believe they're being discontinued.
You know, they were going to do that before, and then they added Abby Cadavi, so I was surprised. So it doesn't surprise me now that they probably are. That's why I told him, I said, I need to look, and because of my study that I'm in, and because they poke and prod me while I'm in my study, I get paid for being there. So I have some money that I'm using to get my order. Otherwise,
So
I don't know when
sorry, I seen a comment pop up from just Fluffy talking about Russ's Kirshner yarn haul. That is exactly why I went and got my Kirshner purchase. There is zero possibility that you will ever be able to watch this man's channel and not go buy some Kirshner. I'm telling you that. Or wool. Okay? You will never leave this channel without owning wool or Kirshner. That's just all there is to it.
Just Fluffy, they don't always have yarn, but now, I mean, 9 times out of 10, if you go in, they probably will. They've been keeping up with yarn pretty well. For a while, they had a ton of different Karen cakes, and that was my favorite time to go in there is when they had those. Now they have a lot of the Ogo yarn, and they have just gotten the Bernat. I don't know if it's the Bernat Baby but the thicker stuff. I think it's the Bernat Baby yarn. And then today my husband saw those because they're having this weekend is their big 15% off because of 4th of July. You get an additional 15% off all weekend. So yeah, I saw them. I grabbed them. I actually got 2 of the Abby Cadabbies so I can make my great niece a hat with one. I don't know if she'll get the blanket or not because this is actually hers when I'm done with it that I'm designing. So it'll have her name on it. But
okay.
But yeah, Ollie's is a big enabler for me, especially when I don't have a lot of money. But you have to watch them because sometimes they have things that are more expensive.
I remember. I completely got sidetracked, guys. I apologize. I have the memory of a goldfish. The question I had, have either, or has anybody watching, I suppose, has anyone here ever purchased and tried to actually follow the correct pattern to make those all-in-one granny?
No, I haven't even had the yarn in front of me to even think of trying to make it.
So me being me, because when it comes to crochet, it's done. Okay, I got it. Not tripping at all. I'm being all arrogant, like, shush, I got this. No, no, ma'am. So I threw a fit and a half. My yarn got broke. I snapped the string of yarn. It was so frustrating. This is what I decided to do with it. So if somebody can't really figure out the all-in-one grain, here's the thing though. It's all, what's the word I'm trying to think for? It's all strategic. All the color changes are strategically measured, right? So if you try to do anything with it, you're just going to get a bunch of like the same coloration stacking them. What I did was I took my skein of the all-in-one and separated it, like I made it into thirds, like take a third of it, roll it up, another third. But check this out. I guess whichever way it goes. That's a corner to corner with the all-in-one grain. Doesn't that look awesome?
I know Bag a Day did something too. I don't know if it was corner to corner, but something with it as well. I do that with everything. Like I love the bloom yarn, but I don't get it to make it into the blooms it's supposed to. I get it because I like just how it works out to use it on whatever I'm working with.
I bought this one because this is just so vintage. Like I love, what is this colorway? This is the Erin Warm Wheat colorway. Girl, it's got like this like cherry red and it's so pretty. And it's soft for a red heart. It's soft. And I just feel like we couldn't get it. And I didn't know what else to do. So I said, my go-to is corner to corner. Okay. Corner to corner and grains. I started this and I'm like, oh, it's so cute. It's so cute.
It's gorgeous.
But I just Juan the Yarn Addict, Juan, you know what? That man, he got it down. He made the squares. And I'm like, watching his videos. He's like, well, if it's too tight, hook down. If it's too loose, hook. I tried all of that. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. How these crafters are successfully getting those squares.
They are trying it over and over 10 to 20 times before they get it right. And
No, I think oh, Tippy baby.
Hey, baby girl.
I think they're in some sort of cult where they tell them all the secrets to it. They're like, okay, this is what you got to do. You know what I mean? This is oh my goodness, it's impossible. Oh, Tippy. She looks just like my Lucy, and it's too adorable. Sweet girl.
Say hi, everybody. Say, I am CEO, and I can do what I want, when I want, and how I want, because I am CEO.
Fluffy, I don't know if you saw, but I just put the prices of the Ogo in the chat for you a minute ago that they're selling it at. The blanket yarn is $4.99, and the regular size, the worsted weight, is $3.99. So it's a good deal.
Is always posting on your videos when you do your videos, Russ, how she's, oh, Dad's talking, let me get in on this. My little girl that looks just like that, she has the same attitude. In my videos on my channel, as a matter of fact, here she comes right now.
Who is that, baby girl?
All three.
Who is that?
And
Lou, say hi.
every single video I have posted on my channel, that one is up climbing up. What are you doing, Mom? What are you doing? So I love Tiffy because she's so much like my little girl.
Tell everybody.
Lua always did that. She was my co-host. Everybody called her my co-host for like the first couple of years. She's not as into it anymore, but she will jump up.
Tell everybody we're going yarn shopping tonight. Say when the live is done, we're going yarn shopping.
Oh, girl.
I wanted to tell you, Russ, one of the nights you were on, I was in the chat and somebody was on with you and you were talking about the cotton yarn at Hirschner's.
Uh-huh.
And you guys were talking about the country cottage. That is their new cotton yarn.
That was me.
You had
Whenever,
said that,
yeah.
that it was older, that it was stuff they'd have
Oh.
for a while. But the country cottage is their brand new cotton yarn that just came out within the last year.
Yes.
I have a couple skeins of it. I love it. It is so soft and oh.
That was me that emailed Russ about that yarn.
Well, he was talking about it on a live.
Yeah.
So,
Where my dog's sitting right next to me, and
it's nice. I have 4 skeins of it. 2 of them are for something for me.
I cannot breathe.
And I plan on getting more. I like it about as much as I like the I love this cotton.
See,
Except for it's a little bit bigger. It's a little bit thicker.
yes. Robin, yes. Yes. Especially the look in this man's eyes when he grabbed that little flyer and he said, was it $1.25 shipping? Was it $1.25, $1.99? He said, I have never seen so much sheer joy in a grown man's eyes than I did when I see him go, I might have to go back to the restaurant. Don't act like you're going. Okay, don't try to be coy.
Don't do it, Fluffy. Don't do it.
I bet you right now this man already has an order in. Okay, I can almost guarantee it. It's
Don't
yeah.
tell my secret.
It's no secret, sweetheart. Okay, we all know that you are the yarn enabler that does not stop. Okay.
So funny to me. My daughter comes here. She looked straight into the back room that I'm still trying to get together. That's going to take me forever. And she's like, oh, Mom, you got to get rid of all that yarn. And I'm like, you guys don't know. I have nothing. I have absolutely nothing compared to so many people, you know. I don't have like, you know, sweater quantities or, you know, quantities enough for a big blanket or whatever.
I don't either. Isn't that just
in like 2s and 3s?
How many toes do you
to buy when I have the money, but I don't hardly ever have the money. So
I think at one point he said something about 50 or 500 or something. They said you had, what was it?
I about fainted.
I know that you said at one point in time there was this one yarn that you said you had like over 500 skeins of or something.
Yes, he did, because I remember hearing that.
So
I think it was
Stylecraft
Yeah.
Special K.
I want
That's
to try that so bad. That's one of them that's on my wish list.
And then I have 800 of these minis.
That's my other part of my wish list.
And I have 2,000 minis on order from Aberdeen.
and that okay.
I want to make a blanket like yours. I want to do a scrappy blanket, but mine is going to be acrylic also. I have like 3 big, I actually made myself a big basket to put my scraps in. And I need like 4 of them because I have so many scraps. So I want to make either a super ball or just keep going from one to the other and just.
I have a tote sitting right next to me full of my scrap cakes for it. I've got my coffee table in front of me with the drawers underneath of it that are ones full of scrap cakes underneath of it. I then also have other projects, other whips that I'm frogging to make more of it. This right here, I don't know if you can see it, was a sweater. Like it's don't judge me. It's pinned up on the wall. This was a piece of sweater. Let me pull it down right fast. That my husband wanted me to make him a crochet sweater, and so he's not large width wise, but he is a large man, tall. He's really tall. I don't know why I didn't say that, but so I've got so many. Oh, apparently I don't know how to sit down. Yeah, I've got so many of all this yarn, all this scrappy stuff. And I forgot what I was talking about. The blanket.
Using it for projects.
Yes. yes, so I have all these whips and stuff that I was uh, frogging. Cause see, like some of my granny squares, right? So I started a granny square, put all my rows in it, and then would trim it with like the black. Well, whenever I decided I was no longer interested in the project, I would frog it. And as I frogged it, I would pull out the yarn, and whatever order the yarn came out in, whatever color order it came out in, whatever length it was, it didn't matter. I just put it all together with a magic knot. Get them all together and then just wind them up into cakes. So that way you have like you have all these different lengths, and you don't have to worry about trying to get your colors in and all that stuff. It looks great. This is going to now have to be frogged because I had it pinned up on my wall so that way I could reference it easily when I was making the other panels. And so I have 5 cats. One of them you hardly ever hear or see from. She was rescued from the Humane Society. I got her on Friday the 13th, and she is a black cat, and her name is Miss Jennifer Kelly. I love my horror movies. She is the horror queen. I love that woman. Miss Tilly only comes over when she wants attention. I caught her on the back of the couch, reaching up as if I had installed her very own scratch pad. Just for her, okay? And she just, oh, yeah, that's it. This is no good now. So this is going to have to get frogged as well. And it's just going to go into the blanket. So any project, as long as it's a 4-way acrylic, pop them out, just wind them back up.
And I'm one of those people that I'll take different sizes. I'll make a ball out of different sizes, and I'll do I want to do a scrappy blanket like that has all the different sizes of yarn in it.
You could do that. You could do like when you spin your own wool, like when you spin your own yarn, they do like the thick and thin yarn and stuff, whatever, the homespun or hand spun. Mm-hmm. Russ, you can spin, you know what I'm talking about, right? Like when you first start spinning and you're trying to stretch it and it's like thick and thin, the homespun.
So yeah. It's actually called art yarn. So back in the day when that used to happen, they would just throw it away or discount it, make it really cheap to sell. But people started to want that and use that into projects. So now they're actually manufacturing it that way, mm-hmm. and calling it art yarn and throwing a big price tag on it.
So, because I know in the video I made today, I mentioned something about that. I mentioned something about you could use different ways if you wanted to make it have that thick and thin look or that homespun look, whatever.
Like what they call roving. But Spring will tell you that roving yarn isn't roving, that the stuff you make yarn out of is roving.
Yeah, roving is when it's not spun, when there's absolutely no spin to it, that's roving. When it's just the carbon fibers, that's roving. But you do not want to, let me phrase this because I'm not going to tell anybody what they can or cannot do. I highly recommend that when you do the scrap blanket and you're frogging your projects, please try to keep to the same fiber content because it will cause issues with the care and the wear and the tear of the item.
When I plan on using acrylic, I'm just going to use different sizes.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, because I know a friend of mine.
Because you never know if somebody's allergic or whatever.
True, for safety and health issues, but also, like a friend of mine, she knits, she crochets, and she gets all these different types of yarn, and she'll run them all in strands and do this big chunky stuff. But you don't want to have a blanket that's got wool in it, and in one or two spots it's going to start felting, or the cotton is going to shrink, or like you said, the allergy issues.
Well, see, I don't know. For me, that's the fun in it, just to see what you can make and how it turns out. If it's scrap yarn, it's scrap yarn. So if it depends on the person, and it depends on the adventure that you want to go down. I love being adventurous when I'm doing my my stuff. And to me, if I were to use, and I do have a project that I'm going to cross some different types of yarn, but I knew that before I bought the yarn to make it. So it's just something I want to try. And if it doesn't work out, I can frog it. So,
Yeah.
And if I make a scrap blanket and part of it would felt and the other part wouldn't, that to me, that would be the beauty in the blanket.
Russ, speaking of felting wool, you were doing a project where you were felting wool for a bag. Did you ever finish that?
No, because at the time that I was in the process of making a bag so I could felt it, and then I was going to do a bag for Come Learn With Me. But when I was in the process of making the bag, my sister had passed.
Oh.
So that got kind of pushed to the side. Well, the cats decided that they liked the yarn, so they shredded the bag.
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
So
That's
now
what they did.
I have to start all over from scratch again. But
yeah, I just remember seeing that up, and I was like, I don't think we ever finished this little mini series on the felted bag.
no, and eventually I'll get back to.
He says he's going to do it.
Come learn. I'll start doing the Come Learn With Me, so we can get some more. So we can get some more stitches. Done.
100%. As well as because I know you're doing some crochet stuff on there. What I would love is, you know how you did like your square to a rectangle tutorial? Stuff like that. Like little tips and tricks for like converting, I guess you could say, or whatever, like how you did that. But also knitting. Like I know that you have knitting stitches up. But me as a brand new baby knitter, and I love Fiber Spider, if he has a couple of things that are actually a sit down like knitting tutorial, but he mostly just has showing you how to do a stitch. And like I know that you've done like the sweaters and the socks. Like if you ever had the time or desire to, something that would be really great that I know like everybody that would love to, because I know people have been screaming at you about to bring more knitting onto the channel. Maybe sit down and give like a little tip, like have a pattern, find a pattern for like a pair of easy knit socks or like a super easy knit shawl or sweater, whatever. And then just like post a link to the pattern like on your channel. But then you sit down and you work on it, like you sit there and you do the project along with them. And then like kind of like, okay, like here's a tricky, like here's so here's like the knit slip like we were talking about earlier. This is how you do that or something. It'd be kind of like, I don't know how to
sounds like she's talking about how I do my crochet alongs in the group, but you would do it as a live instead of doing virtual like I do it in my group where we all get together and sit and like I've taught him how to do amigurumi and different things.
Something kind of. I mean, I wasn't saying necessarily a live, but just like, and not necessarily a tutorial because they already have a pattern, but more just like a
crochet along.
Like earlier when she said she didn't understand what short rows were. So, I said, okay, this is a short row. You have so many stitches on here. Just something like that, like a more basic, mundane breakdown of some of the required stitches that are included in this pattern. So that way, if somebody's wanting to make this pattern, but they are having a hard time.
Cool. And the tools, like, oh, you need DPNs or you need this and you need that,
Yeah, just kind of explaining, I mean, just like some of the areas where like people be getting confused at, like I am right now, confusing myself talking in circles. But I'm still, you get the gist, maybe. Am I explaining it?
So what?
Tips and tricks for a pattern.
Yeah.
Basically.
I could do
for a beginner. So somebody starting out like the two of us, if we wanted to make a sweater and you found an easy beginner sweater and you sat down and you kind of went through the, but what you need to do on something like that is, well, because what I make sure I do on my crochet along when I pick a pattern is that it's a pattern that's free on somebody's website, so everybody can go and get it for free. That way they can't say, oh, you must have given it to everybody or whatever. But if I ever did one that we had to pay for, everybody would have to pay for it. But I also then always send an email to the designer. They may not get back with me, but I at least email them, let them know that I'm using it as a crochet along. And it's one of their free patterns. That way they can't get upset at you for using their pattern.
I did that with Russ. I was like, hey, honey, just so you know, I was talking about your channel earlier in this video, and I just want to be sure it was okay with you. But you know what I'm talking about, Russ? It's like, you have a sweater. Okay? We're going to sit down. We're going to make a sweater. Pattern's posted in the link below. We get our pattern. We're knitting. You're going to make a little video. You're going to say, okay, guys, here's what we're going to do. We're going to cast on. We're going to knit like these 7 rows, which further knits it. And then when you get those done, I'll show you what they mean by the knit slip. I'll show you what they mean by the wrap and turn. Whenever you're doing your decrease here at this spot, you want to be sure that, you see what I mean, though, like, or like when you're doing the collars, make, you see what I'm getting at, right? Not necessarily a step-by-step video, but just like a walk through.
Of the specific things you need to know, like the tips and tricks on how to do it if you've never done one before.
An experienced knitter will know what areas of a pattern need to be
addressed
for somebody that's a brand new knitter, and just kind of like you can be my translator. You can translate all that foreign knit language for me into English, so that way we could.
And it goes with your series. Come, craft with me.
Yeah, but
I can definitely do that.
I wanted to address real quick, Fluffy. Yes, that is a lamp behind me. It's not daylight. It's 2:42 in the morning. So it's actually my grandma's lamp. I got the lamps after she passed. So they're vintage. They're very vintage. But yeah, it's a lamp. I have people tell me that all the time if I'm on late. They're like, wow, it looks like daylight behind you. But no, it's just the lamp.
But my point is,
sorry, bulb in it that's not hot, and actually it every time it's on, it gets more energy. So if the lights were to go off, the lamp would stay on. So
my point though, Russ, is that I found that when it comes to any type of instruction for anything, you are absolutely amazing at specifics with things. And I don't know, you're just one of the few creators that actually can make things really understandable. And because you are experienced in knitting, you will be able to help identify problem areas that most people that are beginning or are learning would be able to have issues with, and then you can be able to kind of break those down a little bit better, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
I just feel that you and the way you compose your videos and the way that you instruct would be a lot more supportive for people, and make, you know what I mean? Like, it would encourage people more because they'll be able to actually get into it, with the charisma and the help and the, you know what I mean? I think it would be really, really good. Long story short, you'd be great at it, okay?
I can do that because especially a lot of the specialty knitting is just, you're basically just, it's like crochet. You're either taking 2 or 3 stitches together to make a decrease, or you alter them stitches you can either untwist it so it goes just a straight line. So if you knit 10, take your 11th stitch, untwist it, and slip it. It's gonna go in a straight line.
Doesn't that make a ladder?
Yes, but in some patterns you want that ladder.
For like lacy stuff or something?
So like this shirt, if I wanted bold, in your face, a line, I can knit so far, take the stitch, untwist it, slip it to my needle, and then go so far, take one off, turn it, slip it. So then you have these beautiful broad lines. It's not cabling. It's a twisted stitch.
I've seen those before. Like those are on like the mock cable sweaters and stuff.
Don't they use that for steeping?
Okay, so steeking is a little different.
You cut it.
So steeking is you're going to knit in the round, because you can knit in the round faster than you can go back and forth.
You got to show us how to do that too. I don't know.
So once you have a blanket done, then you sew it up like a zipper, and then you cut it. You actually cut your work. So
crazy. That's just crazy. I would be that one guy that doesn't cut up the middle of my work. I'd be the one that cuts like on the side of it or something, you know.
Well, usually when you're thinking about a steeking project, usually you'll leave some yarn
In between.
So that way you know exactly where to cut.
You know, I watch people like experienced knitters. One of my favorites, Cozy Cottage Crochet. I'll watch her and she'll be showing us her project she's working on, and she'll try it on and show it. And you'll see these DPNs sticking out here and this and that there. And I look at it and I just go, no way in the world will I ever be able to do that. Ever. Be able to put that neck on there and put those sleeves on there, you know, with all of these things sticking out all over.
See, I have a bit of a guilty pleasure. I love creators from the UK. The last Homely House was Kate, and also her channel, The Last Homely Garden. This woman is absolutely amazing. She knits, she crochets, she quilts. She's so awesome. And also a lady named Jan Carruthers. She does that's what she does. Okay. She crochets and knits. That's what she does. Cardigans, sweaters. God, like racks on racks on racks of those things. And let me tell you what, they are gorgeous. She sits there and she makes some of the stuff up off the top of her head, and I could never. Could never. So amazing, absolutely amazing. And the work, I mean, she has this one that's like multicolored, like granny stitch one, and then she also has another one that's like shells. She just got through making one that's knitted with like a white yarn, and then it has like a multicolored rainbow honeycomb overlay this thing and over there. And I have no. It's astounding. Seriously.
There's a guy I started to watch, and I can't think of his name, but it's his actual name. He crochets, which I didn't know when I first started watching him, but he knits and he makes all of the sweaters that have all of the color work and stuff, and the yoke books and this and that. And when you watch, he just goes like this. It looks like he's just doing this. And it's like the next thing you know, he has all these rows done. And it's like, whoa. He just can knit so fast.
The only ones I can think of that, the only male knitters that I can think of that go like that fast, like that quick, are Nate Carlos, but that actually use their name. But anyways, I would love to make a simple sweater, and I would love to make some really cool stuff. So if you ever have the time and the audacity, by all means, you can count me in 100% for following along with all of them. Just here inside my month. Matter of fact, I'm gonna encourage it. Okay, I'm gonna tap into this because I need to do some of this stuff. And like, you're one of the very few people I can actually understand and follow along with, and not feel like, you know, epic failure on stuff. You know, so.
His name is Mark Vogel. I started watching him because we had a drama teacher whose last name was Vogel, and I was wondering if he might be related to him, and that's how I got started watching him. But
Can't say that I've heard of him.
yeah, he just blows me. He's also a singer, and my best friend is a singer, so I thought that maybe he knew him. He reminds me of my best friend who moved away too. So
I will say one thing. Anytime I'm out here on the YouTube streets, as one likes to say, if I come across any male creator, like if you're a male creator and you're doing knitting and you're doing crochet and you're doing stuff like that, even if I haven't watched your content, 100% I subscribe. Because I tell you what, some of the best content creators that I have found on here are male creators, and I absolutely love them. What do you have here, sweetheart?
knitted clowns.
Oh, yes! Oh my God. I'll be right back. Hold on. I gotta show you something. Hold on.
I want to find a beginner knitting book that has different things in it, because I want to be able to look at some of the different things that I can make.
Yeah, these, and then I have this one.
Oh, that's too cute.
And
oh, that is cute.
this is all knitting.
Yeah, I can tell.
Little soccer player. The little fireman. And I actually picked these. You can't get these patterns anymore.
Look at Santa. You know what? I have kits that they had sold at Ollie's, but these are crochet. But the ones for like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and Frozen and the Peanuts.
That's too cute. I love clowns. Any of the creepy macabre, I love. Oh my gosh.
But so I found on Etsy, of course, is where I found these, and I had to get them from the UK.
I love them. So I bought, my friend Tammy owns a thrift store here in town, and they have like this big pouch that's in craft stuff. Look at this vintage. I think it's a patch. I don't know. Check this guy out.
Oh, wow.
Right? It's like a little, but it's like I don't know if you can see, or I don't know my camera is. The little threading on it, like it's It's not a flat embroidery. It's like
Oh,
it's almost
that's one of those punch. Back in the 80s, there was this punch tool, and
yeah,
you used to punch it into the fabric.
yeah, yeah. I think so because look at the back.
Yes.
Look at his glittery eyes.
How to do that?
Oh, but it's so cool. I love this so much.
Yes, it's the punch needle. Yep, I remember that.
It almost
So,
feels like a washcloth kind of with like the little terry fabric loops kind of. You know what I mean, right? It's so cool. As soon as you pull out the clowns, I'm like, oh. Also, on a creepy note, I'm probably gonna sound really weird in this tote box. So back in the day, you used to be able to make your own you make your own dolls and stuff. I have a whole bunch of just the heads of dolls, and a bunch of them are like just the heads of clowns, and I have my little clown heads just set up. I love they're so cute. Oh, it's just because like they were the ones where like you'd make the body was like a soft body that was like stuffed with fiberglass, but then they would like put like those hard plastic, like just the arms and legs and head on. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, and so they have the clown. So I was in here. I was at the thrift store. I was looking through this box, and I was like, "Score!" And he's like, "What?" I'm like, "Look at this." He's like, "Clown heads." I was like, "Yeah, give me." I tell you what, I just think they're so adorable.
I don't think I showed you, Rex, what I made my daughter for her birthday.
oh,
Let's see. I made her, it's so cute. It's a voodoo doll. It's a pin cushion. So those are actual
cool.
pins that I have sticking out of the top of the head.
That's awesome.
That is adorable.
She decorates for Halloween the whole year. So I always try to find her something new.
I used to I paint and I draw and I do a bunch of stuff, and I took one of those I think it's called like an uplighting, where it's like this little cylindrical with like a light in it, and it just shines upwards onto the wall or whatever. I took one of those and actually converted it into just like those old school pendulum or pendant lamps, and the case on it I actually painted, and it had a bunch of the voodoo dolls all over it.
Cool.
Yeah.
She got me this for Mother's Day, not this last year, but like 2 years ago. And my husband is like, "You're enabling her." And she said, "No, I'm getting one of everything in the book." So she's like, "I'll buy Mom what I want her to make me." So I'm actually making a dinosaur out of there for her husband for his birthday this year.
Oh my goodness, Honeybee Hedgehog Designs. It's almost midnight in California.
Wow. 2:58 here.
Yeah, it's almost 3 o'clock here.
It's 1:59 here. I can't see. I'm sorry, I can't.
No, you're at 1:59 because we're at 2:59.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad I stayed up tonight, but I get to sleep tomorrow because he works all day.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if I go to bed early or if I stay up all night. These dogs, like clockwork. I could have 2 hours of sleep. Don't worry. I still got day. They'll wake me up. They come just, ooh, what's that? Oh,
I'm up most nights anyway because of
100% wool.
So.
I've had that one time before, and
I do have some patent wool.
Where are you pulling that out of?
I bought
Clearly,
I bought a bag.
Kirschner's.
I bought a bag of 5. Well,
It's teal,
actually, I bought 10 of each color, but
of course.
I was saying, did you open up another order? Is that what that is beside you?
no, that's. I have yarn everywhere. You cannot walk in this house without reaching and touching yarn from
Well,
door
at
to
least you
door.
know. At least you know if you ever fall, you'll be safeguarded when you hit.
No, because it's all in boxes and plastic totes.
Well, the plastic toe is maybe not so fun.
Well, you know, if it's teal, Russ has to have it.
No, if it's turquoise, because that's his favorite color.
And you know,
Oh, I've always heard him say teal. Turquoise is actually my birthstone.
I was being sarcastic. He's always to say he's going to use the turquoise for fire starter.
Okay, I was going to say I've never heard him say turquoise at all.
So this is rich teal. And you know, and I don't know why I buy teal or turquoise, because it's not my color, but I always buy it, and I don't know why.
It's your
It's my mom's favorite color.
I would
it's your
rather
OCD
have.
need to have a complete set. Like if you have like the Peyton's full worsted, you want it in all the colors. So it's your OCD need to have a complete set. Russ loves teal and turquoise. I know. I was talking to you about it earlier, girl. He was ranting and raving. He said he was going to go in there and repaint his walls with the turquoise and do like an accent wall with the teal. You know, he's so excited about it.
So I never bought my favorite color in yarn until probably 2 years ago.
Oh no.
Whenever I would go yarn shopping, it was always everybody else's. Now, yellow is my favorite color, but not neon.
No neon. No.
That's
No.
why. That's why he keeps ordering all those extra bags of the mini skeins. Is because he's secretly over there in the back with little gremlin hoarding all of those neon yellow hangs, just so he can have some. He's gonna save them all up, and next thing you know, we're gonna see a giant neon yellow crocheted blanket coming out.
No.
Buttercup yellow is my favorite.
Green, my favorite color.
Would be buttercup yellow.
So the reason why I have 2,000 mini hanks coming from Aberdeen is because they go in my Christmas countdown box. But I don't know if I'm gonna have a Christmas countdown box this year.
Yeah, I heard. I see that last video. They've got a few of their own issues going on over there and stuff, which is really sad, honestly, because I can tell you what, man, like nothing in this world has ever excited me for yarn more than those darn pickle jar minis. I tell you what.
Which reminds me of what I wanted to tell you. Now, I don't know if she does custom orders or not, Russ, but have you been to Farmers Market in South Bend anytime in a while? I hadn't either, and my husband took me specifically because there's a lady there. She spins her own yarn and she hand dyes it, and like she has hanks of cotton wool blend for $15. I couldn't believe her prices. They are so much lower than any other hand dyer I've ever seen.
I have a question.
I didn't know if she would do a custom order or not, if she might be somebody that you try and get a hold of.
The problem that, and me and Spring was talking about this too on the live the other day. To have a personal hand dyer that just dyes up hanks here and there, or even a full-time, if that's their full-time job, to ask them to create 2,000 mini hanks, it would take up so much of their time.
So much time, and plus mini hanks are really hard to come by, which is why I'm surprised that Aberdeen did, from the like Mace of Skeins, who I have followed forever, and her and I are kind of friends now. she's like, anytime somebody wants mini skeins, she has a hard time finding them.
So
Because
what,
as soon as they're out there, people buy them up.
See, these people though, they're doing all this by hand, and it's tedious labor, and it's well worth it. But it also kind of jacks up the price, and I mean, you know, like rightfully so. But that would like for somebody that doesn't distribute on that scale, I think that would probably like crank up the prices on the boxes, or and also make it a little unrealistic for that dyer, wouldn't it?
it would, so, and I'm not taking away anybody that hand dyes for a living. I'm just, this is just fact. So for me to contract somebody for 2,000 mini hanks,
They would need a year at least, if not more.
I needed to get with them like in January.
Right.
And then to pay them what it's actually worth would make the countdown boxes $500.
Yeah, just
Right. Well,
astronomical.
that's why I thought, since she charges less, and my husband said it's probably because the cost of living is so much, it's not as expensive here as other places. But I also knew, I had said in my message to you that I knew it wouldn't be something to help you this year, that it might be something more for the next year.
And
And like you were saying, that's not a knock at these people, because even at $500 a box, that yarn is well worth it. The thing is, though, is to be able to get the quantity that you need in the time that you need it, and be able to outsource it at a reasonable price, so that way you can do your boxes at a reasonable price. That would kind of be like selling the dyers short and kind of undercutting them a little bit, you know, and that's not so well.
well, no, because they would, and here again, I am not taking anything away from anybody,
Mm-mm.
but in order for that small hand dyer to make money, they would have to charge $3 to $4 a mini hank versus what I pay $1.
Right. Well, isn't Aberdeen's, they are hand dyers, right?
But okay, so
has like, what is it, 50?
there's a difference. A home hand dyer does small batches.
Yeah, I know. And Aberdeen's has the ability
Aberdeen
to do
has an
huge
entire
batches.
factory.
Right.
So they have, they can put 100 mini hanks in each vat, add their colors.
Right. Like I said, the only reason I mentioned her is because she had the cheaper prices. So I would have never mentioned like Macy, because she doesn't have those prices.
So basically, unless they're able to industrial produce these tanks, you know what I mean, at like 1,000 tanks a day.
I get it. I
yeah. And
Right.
see, I get that. But at the same time, I wish that there was a way to be able to work something out with, like, she's talking about like the individual dyers, because like that would be really great for them, you know what I mean? Because like you were saying earlier, I like like when you can collaborate with people and it helps everybody in the long run.
Mm-hmm. And Russ, if you didn't want like something that looked uniform from all the boxes, like if you wanted to buy some mini skeins and give me the dye, I would dye so many for you.
I'll do it. It won't look very good at all, but I'll definitely do it.
Dyeing yarn, although I've only used Kool-Aid and natural type dyes so far, but that would be something that I wouldn't mind doing a few small batches for you, and if you got somebody else to do a few, but me, I'll help you out any way that I possibly can. So
my ADHD, I would double out.
Whatever.
I'd end up dying like 3 or 4 and be like, okay, I'm done. I have the itis. It's so terrible. I call it the itis. I'm like, ooh, that looks really cool. Let's start it. Oh wait, that one's even better. Let's try this.
Yeah, I've been waiting to find some mini skins because I want to dye some up for a scrap blanket that I want to make.
What's that? Okay, Russ. So one of the ones that stand out to me in one of your, I think it's totes from the others. It's like this long, and it's like
Well,
1,000,000 balls of yarn in like one long sleeve, and it's like I think it's like a color scheme. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do know what you're talking about, and
What are they? Don't remember.
those are very expensive.
I think you said like
So-
$100 a sleeve or something.
So that you get 1,200 yards because each ball is about 100 yards, and there's 12 different colors in the bag, and it's $187
What are you guys
For what?
talking about?
for one tube.
For why? That. Oh.
Okay, so you have the person that dyes it, the company that dyes it, only makes so many, and that's it. It's like when I do my boxes, I only have so many. That's it.
Limited edition, kind of.
Did the what?
What yarn are you guys talking about?
Would it be like a limited edition, kind of?
Yes.
I think it's called Alice in Wonder.
Alice in Wonderland, and it's made by Wonderland Yarns.
Okay.
Yeah, Wonderland.
And
And-
they do different storybook stuff too, right?
Yeah. So
Well,
You
and
know-
most
it's all about it's like paying for Nike. You're paying for the name.
mhm.
So
Like-
Wonderland Yarns is a high-end dyeing company.
Mhm.
Their yarn is not cheap, but they also use very high fiber. So
And
it's
very
not-
high quality
it's not
dyes.
cheap.
I know there's another
Quality dyes.
wool yarn website that you were promoting. You had some of their hates. There's something about some of them are a repeatable color and some of them aren't.
Mm-hmm.
That is the Paul Ply Yarn Company.
I love.
No,
I was going to
but
say
you
he
don't-
always does his limited editions, and so
But I've tried to find them and have no clue how to locate them online.
They're okay. So Daniel is the owner of Paul Ply Yarn Co.
Over in the UK, right?
Yes,
and if you just look that up, you can find his channel.
he
He
does have
does
a channel.
lives with some people.
He does have a channel, but he's not dyeing any yarn at this time.
But he's
Mhm.
coming back.
But he's talking about coming back either towards the end of the year or at the beginning of next year.
Well, I really wanted to try one of those advent calendars because, like,
Oh my
you
goodness,
really
I want one of his.
things,
They're
okay?
so expensive, though. So expensive.
I know, honey, but he really sells them. I
My
mean,
best
like,
friend gets them every year. I'm just like, oh,
I need one. Oh, and what's the other advent calendar you get?
the
Something
one that
fiber.
besides Aberdeen's this last year. Something
No,
fiber.
Cambridge Fibers out of
Cambridge.
Canada.
Yeah.
So Cambridge Fibers is more reasonable. I believe the last time I bought Paul Ply Yarn Co.'s Advent with shipping, and this is before shipping got expensive. And it was like $280.
Yep.
American money.
Yep. Because the box was like almost 200, and then it was almost $80
Yep.
for shipping.
I mean, I'm sure it's worth every penny and then some.
Oh, he does some amazing yarn.
Yes.
But if you're ever looking for somebody more local who also, I mean, Macy does great work too, but she also does the same thing. And I think almost all hand dyers do it where they have limited quantities, or if they don't do limited quantities, they do pre-sale.
I have a great example. You know, they always say you have a wine drinker's taste on a beer man's budget.
Yep.
Okay. I have
a wine drinker's taste on a water budget.
I have a wool yarn taste on a red heart budget. Okay. That's about how I roll. Okay, I've got pickled yarn mini taste working on a red heart budget, but it's okay.
I only get stuff when it's on sale. Or like she had at Christmas time one year, she had her misfit toys, she called them. They were her hanks that didn't come out quite like she wanted them, so she sells them at a discount. That's the only way that I get it, is when it's on sale or, you know, discounted like that.
You don't have to buy yarn. I can just throw on Russ's playlist and just sit here and drool over all the fibery goodness for days on end, and it's all good. So that's what I got to do.
And yeah, I agree. Where did she go? Honeybee and
you just show off now, don't you? Just go sit there and show off, huh?
it is hard to find these shades of yellow, but I've been lucky that I've been able to find some.
Is that the Advent one? Yeah. Is that
This
Paul
is
Ply's or Cambridge?
Nope, this is Paul Ply.
Paul Ply.
It's their Christmas Advent 2021.
Babs. That's what I was trying to think of. Sorry. Babette yarns or
Babs.
Oh, that is so good. Oh, I love that.
Flat Bag of Days dog.
Nope, this is Christmas Cookie.
Oh, okay.
Is Paul Ply's the one that I know that she's talking about? She sent them a picture of her dog and they made is that with them? Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool.
He's also the one that Fiber Floozy was selling his yarn, and they would make kits and stuff together.
That's so cool. Well, I'm not really sure what's going on with them, but I hope they can get everything settled and they're doing okay, you know.
Oh, they're just younger and trying to find their.
He does this on purpose. And then at the end of the night, when I give in and I go and order yarn, I can sit there and cry and blame Russ.
So
yeah, I think the thing with Daniel and his partner, they're just younger and they're trying to find their way in life and what they're going to do. And
Daniel's husband is going to
dental academy.
School. He's in dental school, so you know that.
So
so it's just a break.
Yeah, he's trying to help him get through school, and plus it was starting to become too much for him to try and get everything done the way that, you know, when people criticize or they don't like this or they don't like that, you know, it just all.
I love that. You know, black is my favorite color. I like light black, medium black, dark black, gray black. That's so pretty.
Black is my daughter's favorite color too. I just made her a blanket with black and grays.
This is from the Aberdeen's Advent calendar from this past Christmas.
You know what you are, Russ? You're like a cooking channel for someone that's on a diet. You know that? Straight up, except with yarn.
I can't help
You're
it.
like,
I love
look at this nice juicy steak, and I'm over here eating salad and stuff.
I got yarn from one of the online thrift stores once, that sells like everything, clothing and whatever. And I was going to make a sweater for my husband, and I got just enough to make this sweater for him. And then he gained weight, and then I had to go and buy different yarn because I didn't have enough, and I had to frog the whole thing. So now I got to get started making his sweater again.
Here's me. Who is this black and white dog? What?
She's wanting to know who the black and white dog you have. What's
Can
the
you
name
see?
of the black and white dog?
Don. Come here. Come here. Come here. Are you talking about? You talking about this guy?
That's the one.
Talk about this guy. Hold on. I don't know how to work a camera, ladies and gentlemen. Go figure. That it's a Don Juan. Huh, that's a Don Juan. Oh, you big old baby. Yeah. Oh, you big old mutt. Here's your big old mutt. This is Don Juan. He is a well, he's a better camera operator than I am. He is a American Staffordshire. He's a pit bull. He's an American Staffordshire Terrier. He's 5 years old. He just won a battle with heartworm and cancer, and he now has an enlarged heart and will continue to have heart problems for the remainders of his days, but he's a big baby.
So we had a cat who had heart problems like that. We always had to put her on Lasix every couple months because she'd blow up.
Yeah.
This for quite a few years after she was diagnosed.
This one had to be kept in a kennel and was not allowed to run around and get his heart rate up or whatever because he could throw blocks and stuff that could cause like an embolism or whatever. He could die like really easy. And I had to give him meds around the clock. And it was just awful. But this guy I rescued him when he was 3 weeks old. And he literally has been within an arm's length of me his entire life. And it's like that right here, huh? It's like that. I wouldn't even have the other animals that I have now if it wasn't for him. I had one cat, and then I have him. He found a litter of stray kittens outside, and I caught him. He was going over there and grabbing chunks of dog food out of his bowl, and he would walk over and start spitting it out and piling it up on the corner of the porch. He was feeding these cats. It was hilarious. And then, like, if I started walking over in that direction, he'd real quick run, stand in front of it. Like, Mom, what are you doing? What are you doing, Mom? Sir, what that down?
He says, you're talking about me, Mama.
I know, right? They're going to look. And so I brought these babies in. I took them to the vet. And got them all taken care of and stuff because they had like upper respiratory infection and all that good stuff. And I started rehoming them. Now, whenever these babies would cry, Don Juan is on it. He stayed by their kennel the whole time. He would lay there and put his little nose in the kennel and let them just paw at him. I started getting rid of the babies, and there was 3 of them left. And I went over there to show somebody one of the kittens, and he ran over in front of the kennel and started like a low growl. I was like, oh, great. So he adopted those 3 kittens. We still have them. Those are his babies. He's very protective of them. They sleep together. The girls will come up and just start making biscuits right on them. I watched Mabel one day. Don Juan was standing up, and she climbed from the couch onto his back like he was riding a horse, and like dug in with her back feet and was just sitting there making biscuits on his back while she was standing on him. And yeah, so those are his babies.
I grew up with a Doberman, and we had my cat, and my cat used to clean Sheba from head to toe.
Oh, the girls will get in there and
And
just go and
do the
eat.
make the biscuits and all of that on him and lay on his tummy. And everybody's like, cats and dogs don't get along. I'm like, yeah, you tell them that.
This dog would be up over his kittens, heartbeat. We'd gotten a new puppy, and the puppy was chasing the girls around, and one of them started hissing. Don Juan ran in there. He body checked the puppy off his dog. He said, "You better back up." Those are good things. Oh, it's so adorable. He's a good boy. He's a big old lazy boy, but he's a pretty good dog. I don't know. I might keep him. We'll see. If you don't quit stretching and putting your paws up, he likes to lay on his back, and then he sticks his leg up and does this weird little French arm thing, sleeping like that. I don't know. He thinks he's a lap dog. He's over here sleeping in my lap right now. So
I love animals so much.
I prefer them. Don Juan.
My dream would be able to have enough money to open up a feral cat sanctuary so that all the people around here who get mad that there are feral cats outside, they could just bring them to me and I could keep them in the sanctuary and take care of them. There's actually one like that in Minnesota. It is so
If
cool.
everybody would take care of their pets to begin with in the first place, instead of dumping them off or ignoring them or letting them run around so their stuff, there wouldn't be so many feral cats. You know what I mean? I feel like what's his name? Bob Hope. Thanks for winter. Want to make sure your pet's spayed and neutered. You know what I'm talking about on that game show?
Mhm.
Oh, look at my mess.
Yeah, this is Sweet Pea. This is Grandma. This is Grandma.
Is she psycho? Because I have a Siamese and she is psycho.
No,
I mean, you can just be scratching her and she'll turn around and rip your arm for no reason.
she's a lovey. She's loving.
Yours are so lovey. Mine won't let me hold them. I go to pet them, they're like, okay, thanks, and then they're off.
Oh no, Mama loves loving. Mama loves her loving.
And she's the one that will pin down the babies and then just lick them within an inch of their life, right?
Her daughter Tippy.
Oh,
She will hold that baby down and lick her to death.
looking like a drowned mole rat coming out.
Yeah, this is Sweet Pea. Her name's Sweet Pea.
Yeah, honeybee. People are so mean. And the sad thing is, though, here they want to take them to the Humane Society because the Humane Society kills them instead of taking them to a no-kill shelter. And the sad thing is that the Humane Society is starting to tell people, if you find a feral cat, bring them in here and we'll take care of it for you. And that's why we have missions like the Meow Mission, that they spay and neuter them so that they can't keep reproducing. And plus they're nicer and kinder to each other, and you don't have all the tomcat fights outside. And they don't go after the birds and stuff as much after they're fixed. So, at least ours.
One of my boys has got some stomach issues going on. They have just been smoking me out this past. Oh,
Kahlua has some of that going on. She's the one that was up here with me earlier.
honey, these are worse than a grown man. Oh my Lord. Oh, it burns. It burns. I need it done. Don't want it. Come on, I gotta get up. It's good. Dude, don't paw me. Dude. Don Juan. Come on, let me up. That way, thank you. Ridiculous. He'll reach up with his little paw, gently stroke your face. It's creepy. It's hilarious.
Yeah, honey, we work with a sanctuary like that here. It's not really, I wouldn't call them a sanctuary, but it's a mission, and they do the catch and release. And we have a colony outside, and we have on our porch, we have little houses. One is a duplex, it's called, because it's got two sides to it. Then another house that in the summertime, they can go in there and stay cool because they're made out of styrofoam. And then in the wintertime, we put hay in there and they can go in there and stay warm.
Every time you say catch and release, all I can think of is like rainbow trout.
Well, the cool thing about it is like if they come and catch them, although we know how to do it now,
chucking it back.
it is kind of like that though, because they will come and catch them at your house and they will bring them back to where they got them from. So they stay in the community that they came from. Exactly. They bitch about rats and mice eating the crops, and these cats are keeping the mice from going into the houses and stuff around here. We have people who have been on our neighborhood app saying they're going to kill these cats because they capture all the vermin around their house. It's like, hello, vermin, mice, rats. I understand if you get upset about the birds, but that is their instinct. They don't complain about the other animals who are out there, you know, going after the birds, just the cats. One lady actually said that she believes all the cats need to be taken back to Europe because they're not native of the U.S. They came over on a boat. So somebody else's reply to her was, well, then you need to go back because we all came over on a boat. So that means you need to go get them.
So did she.
So she came from where the cats came from herself.
Whew. Well, I think I'm going to end it. If you guys are okay with that, I'm going to end it for tonight.
No,
We've been going 2.5 hours, and we've maintained about 30 people the entire time.
a lot longer than I thought I was going to last, to be honest with you.
Well, that's a whole point of getting people up, because you're not running the live, so you can come up, stay as long as your nerves can handle it, pop back down. Then when you calm back down, you can always come back up.
That's why I'm really glad that you did this, because you are and always have been a comfort zone for me. Like, my brain, it just clicks. It never shuts off. My anxiety's so bad. So a lot of times, to get out of my head, I will turn you on and, like I said, watch the tote videos and all that stuff. So, like, you've always been like a comfort space for me, very calming effect. So I think that's like the only reason I was able to actually get on and be able to feel comfortable enough to engage and not have a panic attack after 10 seconds. So
It's nice meeting all you guys.
Absolutely.
Nice meeting you as well, Shell.
Well,
and I pop in during other lives too, and Russ finally was able to make me a mod tonight, so I'm sure you'll be seeing some more of me as well.
Well, I'm hoping.
It depends on if I get to. I'm working hard with my doctor to try and get to bed earlier. So that's the hard thing with being a chronic pain patient, and you're usually up all night. But
yeah, I get that a lot too.
No schedule.
Hopefully, I'll be able to make more appearances, and I will be able to kind of grow a little bit more with my creating and stuff too. And I've kind of I've volunteered Russ here to kind of help be my mentor with the with the channel, you know. So he just kind of got roped into it, you know. He has no say.
Like I said, I'd like to connect and have you on and do a live on my channel as well, if you would like.
Absolutely. Do you have like a email link or anything on your channel?
AJ's personal touch at gmail.com. Just take the apostrophe out of it.
Okay. So, and there's no yes in front of it?
No, it's just AJ's personal touch at gmail.com.
I was giving
I know why you said that. So.
I still can't believe that I did that. I emailed that email without the S in front of it, and they were like, "Who are you?" So okay, all right then. Well, I guess that works for me.
All
Russ,
right.
Okay.
thank you
Well,
so much. Really.
you guys are awesome. And I bid everybody farewell until my next video. And until then, see everybody later.
Night,
Bye.
everybody.